day at Bakersfield College, our students are moving toward their goals. Why aren't you with them? Is it cost? Family obligation? Maybe you don't feel prepared for college life. The good news is we're prepared to help you. You have yet to realize how much help and support is waiting for you at Bakersfield College. Learn more now on EquityTV. Good morning, I'm Francis Mayer, and this is EquityTV. EquityTV is a product of Bakersfield College, where we want to share success stories and tips for success to help you change your life in a positive way by attending Bakersfield College, whether it's to get on your way to a four-year degree or just learn a skill that's going to make you more valuable in your particular career. But there are pitfalls along the way that you need to avoid too, and one of those is money management. Now, going to BC is cheap, but it's not free, and you're going to get some help along the way, but it's key that you use those resources well, is it not?
Absolutely.
What is your name?
My name is Isabel Castaneda, and I work at the Office of Financial Aid.
And what is your job? What do you do in financial aid?
I do a little bit of everything, but my main job duty, my thrust is Cal Grants.
Oh, okay. So you're on the happy end of the business, right? I mean, you
give
little. People. Okay, when you say a little, why not?
Only because it's a process. It's not instant.
Ah, okay. They don't come up to you and tell you their need, and then
absolutely. There's nothing I can do if the student says, I need to buy my books last week.
You started to say tomorrow, and you're like, no, they told me last week.
And there's nothing I can do unless they apply for financial aid. There's an entire process that takes place. It's not instant.
And you've been through that process. You were a student at Bakersfield College.
Absolutely, but I had the right guidance.
Oh, you did?
I had the right guidance. I applied early. I met with a counselor, and they told me you need to fill out that FAFSA, and you need to turn in any documents that may be lingering out there, or else you're going to be crying the first day of school when your counselor or your teacher tells you you need to purchase this book that's $150.
Chunk of change.
Oh, well, not for an incoming freshman. It's $150. I've never had to purchase books in my life.
That was no sarcasm. That
yes.
is, if one of my children came home from school tomorrow and said, "I need $150 for a book," I'd be upset.
Times 3.
Right, exactly.
Times
now
3.
You've got a car payment.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, you were ahead of the game, and I don't mean to call you out here, but you and I have spoken before, and getting that money on time for school is it even half the battle? Because what do you need to do after you get the money? Because you're going to get a check with your name on it.
I got a check.
With your little name on it?
With my name on it, and I said, whoa, $1,000 for a girl that just graduated high school, having a check that said $1,000, that was amazing.
Right.
And I had to buy my books. I had to be smart about it. But I thought, what's a little shopping along the way? And guess what happened? I didn't buy all my books.
Oh, no.
And yes, I was the one crying to financial aid saying, I still need to buy my history book. But you got $1,000 of Pell Grant. Oh, I did. That's true. So what is the girl supposed to do? I had to go crying to my mom and say, I need some money to buy books. And she wasn't very happy with me.
She was stern-jawed because she knew that you had gotten some money that you were supposed to spend on books. And do you relate this experience to students who are coming in wide-eyed, obviously, for the first time? Because another thing is that you got grants. That's money you don't have to pay back.
Yes.
Right? So if you would have gone clothes shopping with a student loan that, I don't know what the repayment terms would be, but let's just say they were 10 years, you would be paying for those new shoes over 10 years.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of students might do that from time to time.
What is the anecdotal evidence you have? We're not naming any names. Relax, students. But what is the anecdotal evidence you have of this? What happens that lets you know that?
I have come across students who have taken out student loans and have bluntly said, I need that student loan because I have a new bed set that I need to pick up. And it's on layaway. And I'm just waiting for this money.
Okay, if you're a college student, and I'll admit this right now, and I hope my mother isn't watching, but I did not have a real bed frame, which is a mark of adulthood. I might have been 32, I think. I had my box spring supported by other things like cinder blocks and whatnot. But yes, now I have a bed frame. I think you can wait. I think that's a crowning jewel in
Yes.
adulthood is having a full bed set.
And what is considered an education expense? Room, board, transportation.
A bed set is not.
Is not.
And when you say room and board, define that for folks.
Paying your rent,
Sure.
electricity,
Right.
transportation,
Water.
water,
Okay.
all of those.
And-
Food.
Sure, food, yes. And if you're qualifying for grants, there's the potential that you're responsible for your own health insurance, so you need to pay any health costs that you have,
Absolutely.
and still save for a rainy day fund. Would you agree that when you're a college student, and I know this is hard for people's egos, but you're going to have the rest of your life to keep up with the Joneses. You're going to have the rest of
Yes.
your life to have a fancy car, a bed set, a nice watch. College isn't the time to do it. What are you supposed to be doing in college?
Saving, eating off top ramen noodles if you have to.
Yes, that is the trademark of college attendance.
Yes. Peanut butter and crackers.
Yeah.
And-
You don't have to eat these things ever again, but you probably should have it once a week now.
I remember the first time I took out a student loan. Yvette Lara was a technician who was over student loans, and she said, do not live as if you have a master's degree now because you've taken out a student loan and you have $5,000 in your pocket.
Wow.
Live as a student because you are going to have to pay this money back
Yes. Absolutely, you are going to have to pay that money back.
with interest
Yes. Yes, for many years.
for many years unless you borrow responsibly, pay that interest while you're still in school if you're able to.
Right. And on the flip side, we don't want to bash taking out student loans.
Not
all
at
we're
all.
encouraging is responsibility because I hear students in the athletic department sometimes tell me, like, oh, I don't want to be in debt. And it's like, bro, you live in the
Yes.
United States. You're going to be in all kinds of debt before you know it.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, but if you want to buy a home, for example, real estate costs are such that unless you're independently wealthy, you're going to have to borrow some money from a bank to pay for a
they
house.
say the best kind of debt is purchasing a home.
Not a pair of shoes or something you cannot resell that immediately loses value the first time you
Yes.
use it.
Education,
Yes, absolutely.
and even a car.
Well, okay. I understand a car. We live in California. You need one. But the thing about an education is the value of it is not going to depreciate. Historically
That's right.
speaking, my parents, when they graduated from high school, a diploma was a big deal, right? And now, you need a bachelor's degree. The value of education only seems to be appreciating. So
I agree with you. And like I mentioned before, you can lose a home, you can lose your car, but
Right.
that education, you're always going to have it.
Right. And okay, so let's say, let's go back to that situation we talked about where I'm a student and I didn't heed your advice. I took the $1,000 and I don't know, what did I do? Let's see. I don't know. I ate out every night for 2 weeks. I bought myself some new kicks, some Jordans off eBay. They were only $300.
Oh,
And
wow.
now, okay. And I did pay my rent, but I haven't paid my rent for next month. And now I'm at you, hat in hand, hiding my Jordans. And I'm telling you, like, look, I'm broke. What do you tell people?
I say I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't say just fill out this whoopsie form?
Unfortunately, if they've already, example, you got your $1,000, there's 2 disbursements per semester. I cannot give you an advance on that Pell Grant.
I think that you need to repeat that. In fact, is there a camera she can look at? There you go. Look at the camera with the red dot right there.
There's no advance on your Pell Grant.
Once you spend it,
That's it. That's it. There's nothing we can do. There are no short-term loans. You have to wait, unless you take out a student loan, of course, but that's a process itself. It's not an
how
overnight.
long is that going to take? So, okay, and now it's a week out. My rent's due. PG&E bill's going to come soon. Jordans are not as clean as they were when I first bought them off eBay for $300.
Unfortunately, you have to go through the entire process.
Oh,
that the
how
college
long's it gonna
offers.
take?
It could be 2 weeks, maybe.
No, not 2 weeks.
By
I
then,
got to pay my rent.
You have an eviction notice coming up. What do we do? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
wait, hold on. We're going back in time, and I'm not buying those Jordans. I'm putting half of my money in a savings account. I put the other half in a checking account. I'm going to go buy my books. I'm going to see what's left over, and I'm going to put that in the savings account until my rent's due.
Believe it or not, we have students who are very smart about their money. They receive their Pell Grant. They say, I have $600 left. What do I do with it? I said, well, do you need a computer? Do you need to load up your Gates card with money? That's your money. Do you need to buy food while you're at school? And a lot of them are astonished that they're going to get a second payment, another $1,000. And they say, well, I'm just going to save this. And my eyeballs do this. Because I never did that when I was a BC student. As soon as I got that Pell Grant check, I was gone.
Right. But that's a bad way to do anything in life.
I agree with you. I learned the hard way.
Well, you and I both did. And in fairness of disclosure, this was the most valuable lesson my mother ever taught me. I was living across the street from the college in an apartment on Christmas Tree Lane.
Yes.
And I had totally mismanaged my money and my time. And I got my last payment for my student job. And I did some quick back of the envelope calculations. And I was a few $100s short. And I'd made a host of stupid decisions, the ones that we were talking about, buying video games and just crap that I did not need.
Absolutely.
And first of all, wasn't conducive to the college going atmosphere anyway. You don't need to play video games right now. Trust me. You'll have the rest of your life. You get a degree. You can afford a bigger TV. It's a better experience. Just wait. Trust me. And I called my mom and I said, hey, I'm out of money. And she said, you know what? You're going to figure it out. And she did, but it sucked.
Well, I have to tell you that my oldest brother, he moved out, 18, going to college, but he would come home and grocery shop at our house. Take toilet paper, cereal, and I'd get home from school and, I'm going to have a bowl of cereal. Mom, there's no cereal. Oh, your brother came shopping because he wasn't managing his money.
How did your parents react to that? Did your dad ever he probably came when your dad was at work or something, or when the parents were at work?
Actually, my mom was a bit of an enabler.
Oh.
So she allowed him to take furniture.
Oh, no.
My nightstand.
Oh, no.
Your brother was hungry, so he needed
to pawn your possessions.
Yes, a little bit of that. I mean, he's great now, but that experience, I thought to myself, that's never going to be me. Yeah, right.
Outing siblings on Equity TV.
Yes.
That was wonderful. That's good. Well, look, you don't have to make those same painful mistakes. What you can do is you can be financially prudent. We've got some more folks coming up on the show who are going to tell you just how to do that, because you don't want to be making that phone call to your parents. They're still going to bring it up when you're almost 40.
Yes.
Trust me. Okay? We'll be right back with more Equity TV.